Hello vinyl community, this is Randy and this is a vinyl finds video. I haven't done a video in a little while and I've picked up quite a few records, but I'll only do a few of them here. I also won, well, I got second place in a contest by BLind ILand. This has been quite a while back, but it was a eBay gift card. And so I bid on a few things and finally got something that I won. And well, paid for part of two things. And the first one is this group called Eggs Over Easy. I had seen a video from another VC member talking about the origins of pub rock, and I cannot remember who that was. But they talked about this being, to a lot of people, the first pub rock album. This Good and Cheap is the name of the album, and Eggs Over Easy is the name of the group. They're actually from America, but they were over in Britain and playing at this one club and kind of became known for their pub rock sound. And I went on eBay and found this album, and I think it is great. It's on A&M and has some great songs on here. The first cut on here, or on the second side, Home to You, The Factory, Arkansas, Party Party. Some really great songs by this group called Eggs Over Easy. To my knowledge, this is the only record they ever made. I heard somewhere that some of the members got back together and did some music like a few years ago, but as far as I know, this is it. And found it for a decent price and sounds really good. And the other album that I got was Randy Newman's Land of Dreams. I had shown this in an earlier Vinyl Finds video, not this album, but one I had gotten, and this a little bit too noisy for my liking, and so I found another one on eBay, and this one sounds much better. Probably one of Randy Newman's most personal albums. Dixie Flyer, New Orleans Wins the War, Falling in Love, Something Special, Bad News from Home. The whole first side is just great song after great song, and It's Money That Matters was probably the song that got the most airplay, which is on side 2, and I Want to Hurt Like You Do is a devastating song to listen to, and one everybody should hear. That being said, the album I had originally bid on eBay to try to use his certificate was this album, Nancy and Lee, with Lee Hazelwood and Nancy Sinatra, but it went too high. But I did find it at a record store for a better price. The only problem is, somebody wrote their name in Nancy's hair right there. But wonderful album. Their version of Jackson is very good. Sundown, Sundown, Summer Wine, and the song Some Velvet Morning are kind of psych pop classics. I don't know what with Nancy's kind of go-go girl 60s vibe and his kind of deep husky country voice. It's kind of a unique mix and really wonderful album. And that song Some Velvet Morning seems like Quentin Tarantino should put that in some movie sometime. It's a wonderful song. Next thing I'm going to show is a group called the Untouchables. This is their debut album. They were a California band that kind of like the answer to the Specials and the English Beat in the United States. They do a lot of ska elements. They also do a lot of reggae rhythms and some R&B. But really a wonderful album by the Untouchables. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second, but I was going to say that the Untouchables, I said, are kind of a ska revival a little bit, but and I compared them to the English beat, and of course it was the beat if you're from Great Britain, and the U.S. they're known as the English beat. And this record is on MCA, which is a reissue because they're originally on Stiff Records. So that. And the next one I'm going to show is Blackie and the Rodeo Kings, which are a Canadian band, and which consists of Colin Linden, Steve Fearing, and Tom Wilson. Now I have a couple of Colin Linden solo albums, which are very good. I guess Tom Wilson has done some solo work as well, but I have not heard those. And it's roots rock is what I would call this, and his solo albums are as well. This one is a collaborative effort in that they collaborate with a bunch of different artists, and some great artists. They get Jason Isbell, a great singer-songwriter, some country artists like Vince Gill, Rodney Crowell, and Buddy Miller, and Eric Church, the great pop wizard Nick Lowe, a great producer as well, Keb Mo, the blues R&B artist, but really some great collaborations on here, and the songs are wonderful. And I just saw this at the record store, and I hadn't bought anything by Blackie and the Rodeo Kings in a while, and thought, well, I have to have this. And it's on the FUM label, which is, I don't know what that stands for. FUM, Canada Factor, Rachel. Anyway, Blackie and the Rodeo Kings, wonderful group. Next is a new group for me. It's the Dirty Fences, and this is their album Goodbye Love. Back cover. They're called garage punk, which I might put them more garagey than punkish, but they have some great hooks. I think if you like the Ramones or if you like the Buzzcocks, you probably like this group, the Dirty Fences. But I don't know, I would see them more as if the DBs did punk. Maybe it would sound something like this, I think. But it's on Greenway Records, it's on green vinyl. Dirty Fences. And I looked up Greenway, and I think if you like to garage and punk, it might be a label you might want to check out. Greenway Records. Next one I'll pick up is one of my bands that I've liked for a long time, and that's the Waterboys, Scottish group. This is their album, Where the Action Is. They kind of take a different direction on this album. I guess the album before this is where they really started experimenting with some dance beats and some electronic music, which is a lot different than their glory days, which I think This Is the Sea and Fisherman's Blues are two wonderful albums. That Scottish rock band, but this they go a little bit different direction with this one, which I haven't figured out if I'm all on board or not on this. Have to give it a few more listens, but it's definitely a different sound for the Waterboys. This is the label. This just came out last year. I got one that just came out this year as well, but I have not got that one yet, and I don't know if it's still in this direction. He still has the Scottish influence with kind of those rock elements, some little Celtic in there with that as well. But I'll have to see if that album grows on me. Next one I want to show is Marshall Crenshaw, the great pop artist. His first 3 albums are just great. I think this might be the 4th or 5th one, and this just happened to be one I did not have. Mary Jean and Nine Others is the name of the album, and that's Mary Jean and 9 other songs. But it's produced by Don Dixon, and kind of gets, some people didn't like the Don Dixon production on this. The jangly guitars are a little bit farther down in the mix, and then the drums are really a little bit heavier, and which I'm not crazy about as well, but I still think it's a great album. It's got some great tunes on here, like Somebody Crying, Calling Out for Love at Crying Time. He also does the Peter Case, can't think of his name, Peter Case song, Steel Strings, which is a really good tune. But Marshall Crenshaw, anybody who likes jangle pop will probably like Marshall Crenshaw, although does a little bit heavier guitar work on this one. And the next one I'm going to show is Atlantic Jazz, Kansas City. This kind of talks about Kansas City jazz, and it features 3 really big names in Kansas City jazz. Big Joe Turner, which everybody knows from Flip, Flop, and Fly, and Let the Good Times Roll. That's not the song. What am I thinking of? Sorry, I spaced out again. It was not Let the Good Times Roll, Shake, Rattle, and Roll by Big Joe Turner, who was a Kansas City native, grew up here. He also does the song Piney Brown Blues on here, which is about Kansas City and that time period, and includes great piano player Pete Johnson on here. The other artists are the great alto sax player Buster Smith, and who I think was actually from Texas, but then came to Kansas City around, once the swing was really happening here in the town. And also Jay McShann, who was, I think, might have been from Texas as well, that started leading some swing groups here, and Charlie Parker played with his group for a while. But there's a wonderful Kansas City jazz initiation for anybody who wants to get into Kansas City jazz and that bebop swing era. And although there is also a song by T-Bone Walker on here, which I don't remember him ever being part of the Kansas City jazz scene, but I guess I'll have to investigate that. I don't know, T-Bone Walker, which seems kind of strange on this one. Kansas City jazz. Oh, also, I showed Dr. Birds and Mr. Hyde last time on my Vinyl Finds video, which was right after Chris Hillman and Graham Parsons had left the group. And this is the second album after that exit, and I think they really found their true form here in Ballad of Easy Rider, which may be one of the most beautiful songs from Roger McGuinn. Really beautiful song. Also, they do Jesus Just All Right, a couple good country rockers, Oil in My Lamp, and Tulsa County. But wonderful album by the Byrds, The Ballad of Easy Rider. And last one I'm going to show is one album most people know. I only had it on CD, but I found it on album now, is Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska. Of course, everybody knows he did a bunch of demos at home and took it to the producer, and then he ended up deciding that he thought he liked the demo versions better than with the band, and just got some killer songs on here with Atlantic City, Johnny 99, Highway Patrolman, Used Cars is one of my favorites, Reason to Believe. It gives a little hope at the end, because it's more of an album about the desperate lives of outsiders, the downtrodden, But a wonderful album by Bruce Springsteen, Nebraska. And thanks everyone for watching. I hope everyone's trying to be safe and take care.